again back here at the Friday Roundup. I'm your host, Jonathan Graves, and sports editor of GreenwoodTodaySports.com. And this morning I'm joined in studio by Carolina Spike's Mark Davis, a big contributor of our site. How you doing today, Mark?
Good, thank you.
And I'm joined also to my left by Mr. Kevin Davis. How you doing today, Kevin?
Good.
This man is a hitting instructor over at Carolina Spikes, and him and Mark are here to talk to you a little bit today about some of Kevin's future exploits that are coming up very soon. All right, first question, guys. How'd y'all meet up?
Actually, my aunt works with his girlfriend's mother, and they work at ear, nose, and throat. And I was starting Carolina Spikes and looking for experienced instructors, and she told me they had a guy coming back from the Braves organization. I said that would be perfect. So I got his number, called him, and he met up, and from there on we took off. And he's been the head pitching instructor and hitting instructor from, I think, July. So.
It was kind of funny because when I came down, I had been talking to my girlfriend about, man, I really wish that there was, a facility in Greenwood that gave instruction like that. And, not knowing that one was opening up, Donna told me that she knew somebody that was opening one up, and from there, here we go.
Yeah.
So has it kind of been like a match made in heaven? I mean, do y'all kind of, get into a little bit of arguments, kind of like a married couple?
No.
Nah. I just like to have him on time.
Have him on time. That's the main thing.
Yeah, I'm real good about getting there real early.
Okay. Well, Kevin, I mean, this show is mainly about you. You're the guest star, here today. Talk to me a little bit about, your career and, where you started at in high school. I think you started in Seattle, right?
Yeah, I was actually born and raised in Seattle, grew up there, went to high school just outside of the city. Then from there, I went to junior college, and I went across the mountains over in eastern Washington. I spent a year there, and, it didn't really work out as planned, and I came back home and went to a junior college close to home that was actually one of the top baseball schools in Washington, and was in the NWAC league up there, which is a little bit different than the junior colleges they got down here. They got the NJCAA, I think it is, and that's metal bats. We played in the wood bat league, and so it's actually, it's real good up there for prepping guys for playing professional baseball, and a lot of guys get scouted out of there just for the fact that you're using wood in the pitchers. They can see how dominant the pitchers are against wood, and they can see how the hitters swing with wood. So it was a lot of fun. And after that, I ended up, I was sophomore year in college, getting late into the summer, didn't have a place to play, and phone rings from the assistant coach at Lander University. And they offered me, pretty good deals to come down here and play ball. Hopped in the truck. Drove across the country, packed up my stuff, never seen the campus before. And,
I was about to ask you, what do you think? I'm sure you've never heard of Greenwood, South Carolina before being from Washington all the way to Greenwood. I mean, what was your first thoughts on coming all the way to Greenwood, South Carolina?
They kind of, when they were giving me the spiel on coming down, it was kind of a warm weather, palm trees and good-looking girls. So
Yeah.
that kind of sold me on it right there. So 38 hours in the car later, we pull into Greenwood, South Carolina. Didn't see any palm trees.
Yeah.
Kind of sparse and the beautiful women, too.
Nah.
But coming from Seattle, that's kind of a rainy area, so Greenwood is a little bit warmer and a little bit less rain, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's it's great weather for playing baseball.
Yeah.
It's, you don't have to worry about too many rainouts. Well, right now you have to worry about a few.
So this week,
Yeah, right now it's raining outside right now. But talk to me a little bit about your experience at Lander and kind of what you learned at the Lander campus. Anything?
I learned some good history, but for baseball purposes, it was good to get out here. It was a high level of baseball. People don't think that the Division II, they look at Carolina and Clemson and think that, oh, that's where the baseball's at. That's the big game there. They don't understand there's just as many guys that get signed to professional baseball out of these smaller Division II conferences as these D1. I'm sure you could look at, a team like Carolina, they get, they might get 5-6 guys drafted or something like that. But
yeah.
You got smaller schools that are getting just as many guys signed. And the level of baseball, I think the difference between D1 and Division II is you got 3 good weekend arms on this D1, and you don't have any players. You got a solid lineup all through. When at a D2, a good D2, you might have, say, 12 real good players that could play D1 ball somewhere.
Yeah.
But for other reasons, grades, what have you, they end up at a Division II school. So, I learned a lot about just the game. I was the same way coming out of high school. I wanted to go D1, and that's all there was to it. And then ending up at a Division II, it was kind of a letdown at first. But once I got down here and got in the games, it was a real deal baseball.
And the game's still the same, right?
Yeah.
So I think you went from Lander, and then that was when your Atlanta Braves experience. Is that how I'm figuring this?
Well, it was kind of a different. It's a long story.
It's a
If you got time.
Well, we're gonna you kind of just give us the highlights of that story.